Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. Caitlin Clark has to take the defensive matchups. That's right. Caitlin Clark has to take the defensive matchups. Ain't no doubt about it. You're listening to the Money Mike Syndicated Radio podcast. And Caitlin Clark now. The WNBA, it's time to play. And Caitlin Clark, Bleacher Report, ranked her in the top 5. Outstanding accomplishment. Indiana Fever fans think Caitlin Clark should be number 1. Indiana Fever podcasters, man, I love you guys. They think Caitlin Clark's number 1. Money Mike, I kind of feel somewhat of the same. The number one thing I like to see Caitlin do is the defensive end, right? Because now we're trying to put in a team defense, or can Caitlin Clark play man to man? And when I say man to man, like you get Isaiah Thomas, Detroit Pistons locks up with the next point guard. It's the obvious addiction that has to happen. Now, what does that mean? Because you got round 2 coming up and the rivalry. No doubt about it. Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, new team for Chicago, new team for Indiana. Who's better? Who knows, right? Till you get on the court, till you take the United Center, we don't know who's the best. But she's not going to guard Angel Reese. She's not going to guard Asia Wilson. Those are the matchups. I'm talking about when you play the aces, it's Imano. It's Caitlin versus Chelsea. Okay, that's for Stephanie White's got to go man to man and go Imano, because to be the best in the game, okay, and here's where the analytics and records and all those things can throw a game off, because I always talk about in the college, yeah, you being the leading scorer in college, that's outstanding in college. That's going to go on for a lifetime. Prayers up for Juju Watkins, and Caitlin's going to be the lifetime of that. There ain't no doubt about it. But when you get to the WNBA, now we count chips, right? Because we're pros, right? And you got to take the matchup. And when I say the matchup, like Caitlin has to guard Drew Lloyd. She's got to guard Drew Lloyd one-on-one. Now, here's the deal. They've always put it in their mind that Caitlin can't guard Drew Lloyd. That's not true, because they haven't put the test to Caitlin yet. And Caitlin has to guard Rakia Jackson, right? Rakia Jackson, I got all day long as a point guard. Going to be a big point 2, whatever you want to call it, combo, however you want to call it, 0.3. That's a big time. You got to guard this player, right? And when you get players like Chelsea understands this. I've won championships, 3 of them, right? Big difference. But Chelsea Gray also knows I got to play defense, and that's what Becky demands. Now, with Caitlin is such a great player that no one's ever challenged her to play defense. Now, I did see one time Caitlin got hurt on defense because that was from going underneath screens, right? And that's just the part of defense that when you run a transitional offense, you get away with it because it really doesn't matter. And Caitlin really hasn't had to guard anybody on defense. She just kind of played her own team defense. But now you're talking about Caitlin, and Caitlin's Caitlin. And here's the deal, Stephanie White. Now it's time. If Caitlin's going to be the best, not second best, not third best, but the best to ever play the game, she's going to have to do it like Michael Jordan. Excuse me. And there ain't no doubt about it. What does that mean, like Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan was first team all defense, right? You got Brandon Stewart, Laney Hampel, and that's going to be a tough task, because now you have Caitlin not only having to guard Anescu, okay, but they backed that one up. I mean, Brianna Stewart, she guards everybody. You got to look at this. Now you got to guard Vandershoot, right? And that's a slick player, right? That's a real slick player. You got to shut that down, Imano, as being the best in the game as a defensive player, because we know without a doubt Caitlin's going to be the best offensive player in the game going forward. There's no doubt about it. I don't truly believe. Here's the challenge with that. If Caitlin plays defense now, because she's going to have to play defense, Natasha Cloud is sitting there with the New York Liberty, right? So you got Anescu you're going to run at first, and then you got Cloud. Now, Caitlin's got to take these matchups and's got to shut these guards down, right? That is going to separate. Caitlin Clark needs to be first team all WNBA defense, right? There ain't no doubt about it, and there ain't nothing stopping Caitlin. The only thing that stops Caitlin from being first team all defense is the coaches okay, putting her in these defenses that don't allow her to take the matchups. And now, as the leader, because I truly don't believe that Caitlin's going to break her own records, right? Let's be a full evaluation and look at it collectively. The Indiana Fever did not go get 10 other players for Caitlin Clark to keep breaking records, right? They're not even interested in Caitlin breaking any records, right? They're interested in winning the championship. But now, when you get to that range of winning a championship, Caitlin's got to take Ariel Atkins, right? She's got to take the matchup. And that's what this game is all about. And that's what I've been trying to tell everybody, that Caitlin is outstanding. But, Caitlin, you got to guard Courtney Williams. Straight up, Courtney Williams is going to guard you straight up. Then now we're going to see who the best player is, because the best player can't just play offense, right? And I don't believe Caitlin, being a former soccer player, that the best she's ever done, okay, has just been offense on the game of basketball. And when I say this, you have to understand, Caitlin Clark's a McDonald's All-American, right? And you got to realize that right away, what it means to be a McDonald's All-American, because you ain't really going to fool nothing on nobody, right? You get on Angel Reese as much as you want, but Angel Reese is a McDonald's All-American. Come on, guys. Asia Wilson, McDonald's All-American. You have to play defense. The matchups are going to be there. The Aces swept the Indiana Fever last year. Somebody's got to shut down Chelsea Gray. I want to see it in mano a mano. Chelsea versus Caitlin. Let's play ball. You got Jewel Lloyd up there. Caitlin, take Jewel Lloyd. Shut Jewel Lloyd down. That's the game right there. If you could do that, Rickea Jackson, go in there to the LA Sparks. Caitlin Clark, MVP of the WNBA. She has to play defense. Right? And when you get it good going to you, Caitlin can do it. It's just the Indiana Fever got to turn her loose, and that's Stephanie White, right? Stephanie White's got to turn Caitlin loose on the defensive end, man-to-man defense. Let's play basketball, right? Because you're getting it in. You got the New York Liberty, you got the Connecticut Sun, Indiana Fever, Atlanta Dream, Washington Mystics, Chicago Sky. Indiana's going to three-peat. Money Mike told you that already, but the Fever won in. So let's get in. And that's what's going down. Breonna Stewart, best of Brittany Laney. Oh, Brittany Laney Hamilton, that's the best defender in the game. All right? You got Breonna Stewart, got the knee surgery. She's coming back. But here's the thing. Caitlin versus Vandershoot. Who's the better ball player? Let's match them up, and let's see who can get it done. Ain't no doubt about it. Natasha Cloud's waiting, and she wants a bite at the apple. Let's go a mano. Let's play basketball. Because Caitlin can do it. Ain't no doubt about it. But she's being sheltered or kind of protected by the Indiana Fever. They want to go team defense. Let's go man-to-man. This is Too Hot Media. Money Mike Syndicated Radio Podcast. We're telling you, Caitlin Clark has to take the defensive matchups to be the best in the game. Ain't no doubt about it. It ain't no sugarcoating. There's only one way, and that's the WNBA. Money Mike Syndicated Podcast. We'll see you soon.